Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
What's up? This is El Presidente.
This is your boy, gospel icon, my Harold Peoples Jr.
It's Lady, also known as Leah, and you're now watching.
And you're listening to Speaking Plain English.
And the Speaking Plain English with your host Roberta.
Your beautiful host, Roberta Johnson.
With my homegirl, Roberta, on Praise.fm.
On Praise FM.
On Praise FM.
Hey, happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speaking Plain English. I am your host, Roberta, and we have no guest today. Actually, you are going to be our guest for today because we're going to have a conversation. All right. So, I am out and about, kind of, sort of, in a way, but I'm in the car today, so I get to see all of the background. But so before we get started with today's topic, I do want to welcome everyone. Welcome our Praise FM viewers. Welcome our Facebook viewers, Roberta's Recommendation viewers, our YouTube viewers, and everybody who was catching this by replay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I just wanted to give y'all a few announcements before we get started with today's topic. Oh, first of all, let me just say this. My apologies for not being able to be live last week. And for having to do a pre-recorded episode. I had a situation that happened that came up kind of last minute, very last minute actually, and I had to handle that. So I had to move on my feet real quick. So that was what we ended up having to do, because I didn't want to not have, anything on. I wanted to be able to, have you guys have something to view, consistency, you know what I mean? So last week's topic we're actually going to do today. So if you were kind of confused by seeing the banner, not the banner, but the flyer as the same today as it was last week, that's because we didn't get to do last week's. So we're going to do that today. And so I thank you guys for, dealing with me. Everything is now okay. We got everything taken care of and we're good. Also, I want you guys to do your wonderful liking and sharing. Hey, Sharice, the liking and the sharing and the subscribing. If you have not done so, hit the notification bell so that whenever we come on, like I said, we're here. Well, I didn't say that before, but I'm going to say it now. We are here every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Most of the time we will have a guest. Sometimes we will not. And then you guys will be our guests. And I love that, because either way, I love for you guys to be able to come back, back and forth and piggyback and talk with me and converse with me, because I think that we're here to not just talk about things. We're here to work things out. And by sharing, you never know who it is that can assist with what it is that we're discussing for that day, because I'm all about solutions. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be able to make some changes. All right. So before we get into today's topic, I want to do the announcements. I want to do our Earth Entry anniversaries from the 4th up, the ones that we were supposed to do last week, up until today. And I know I'm missing some, and I'm upset because I know I'm missing some. I don't know. I can't think of it, but I know I'm missing some. So we are going to start with February 4th, whose Earth Entry anniversary was Tabitha Brown. Yes, the Miss Tabitha Brown. The what is one of her things? She says the very good lady, very good. I'm so proud of her. and what she is doing, her and her husband Chance, shout out to them, what they're doing. I'm so proud of you know where she's, her journey and where she is now, where God has brought her from. I'm so proud of her. On the 6th, we have a couple of birthdays. My godson, my cousin, godson, Trey, happy Earth Entry anniversary to you. And my other cousin, also on the 6th, Guy, this would on the 6th was his second? I think it was his second birthday in heaven. He passed away 2 years ago. So is it 2 years? Has it been 2 years already? No, I think he passed away it was last year, but it was not long before his birthday. So happy second birthday to Guy. His second anniversary, second birthday in heaven. Got you know what I mean? I'm sorry, Auntie. I'm sorry, Auntie Angie, if you're watching. But you know what I'm trying to say. Also on the 10th of this February was my Aunt Denise Cooper. Happy Earth Entry anniversary to you. On the 11th, coming from this week, on the 11th was my big sister Tashana. Her Earth Entry anniversary was on the 11th, last Sunday. Yes, last Sunday. So happy Earth Entry anniversary to my big sister. And then on Valentine's Day, which is the 14th, is my daddy, Pastor Phil. I'm not going to give his full middle name, but Phil R. Johnson. Happy Earth Entry anniversary to all of the wonderful birthdays that are that we've had so far in these past 2 weeks. All right. One more announcement really quickly. If you have an event, if you have anybody whose birthday you want to shout out, like make a special thing out of it, or not just the birthday, but a celebration. If you have any new music, if you have a business that you want, any type of shout outs, any announcements or things that you want to add as an advertisement, that or a commercial or ad or advertisement on the show, because we do run commercials, feel free to reach out to me and let me know, and then we will see what we can do to get you on to get your shout out or your ad placed on the show. All right. And without further ado, we are going to get into our topic for today. And this is basically what Speaking Plain English is all about. Black History Daily. So if you guys, anybody who's here that follows me on Instagram, my apologies for being unable to film live, but I'll try to upload it there. But if you guys are on my Instagram page, if not, you can find it at DOYH_marketing on Instagram. And I'm also on Fanbase, which is a Black-owned social media platform as well. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because Instagram and playing games a little something, and I don't like that. But so one thing that Speaking Plain English is all about, or not just Speaking Plain English, but DOYH, Desires of Your Heart Marketing, all together, what we're about is supporting and pushing and highlighting and promoting. Did I say that a word already? I don't know, but if I didn't, I'm saying it again. Promoting Black artists, Black authors, and Black business, small Black business owners. It doesn't have to necessarily be small Black business, but Black business owners. So that is pretty much what my whole company as a whole in its entirety. That's what that's the focus, is to do that, is to make sure that we are uplifted and that we are, people are able to see who we are and what we do. And, those who may not be able to, those who just need who are doing the work, who are, doing what it is that they need to do. They're putting their hands to the plow, and they just need a little bit of, kind of like what Keith Lee does for food, and what Terrell Grice has been doing for artists. Same concept. Those people, and I like to refer to them because I know that everybody starts out small, and right now, yes, we're small, but I'm anticipating this thing growing, and I'm not looking for it to happen overnight, but at some point, y'all are gonna be like, I heard, she said it first. She said it first. So that's the that's the goal, because I want to be able to uplift people. I want people to put people in the forefront, push people forward who are doing excellent things. And that is the difference. I'm not going to just promote them just because they're Black owned. I'm going to do it if they're operating in excellence. That way, y'all know that anything that Roberta says that she's going to, if Roberta's stamp of approval is on it, if Roberta recommends it, it's got to be good. You know what I mean? So that's the whole point. So on Instagram, what I have been doing is this thing that I'm calling 29 ways to work the dream. And that's pretty much based off of Black History Month, and understanding that we want to not just talk about and honor verbally, I'll put it like that, and acknowledge those who have made Black history, the Black people who have made history. We don't want to just acknowledge them in words by just, knowing their names and knowing what they've done. That's all well, good, and wonderful. But what we want to do is we want to honor them with moving forward and doing the things that, honoring them by living in a way that would make them proud. You know what I mean? That in a way that would make what they did and what they pushed for and what they fought for and what they died for not be in vain. So we understand, and this is kind of like, I understand, this is kind of like a family meeting per se. in a bit, this is kind of like a family meeting, because I have to be honest and tell you guys that I feel like, although there are times when we do come together and do things, and when we do it, we really do it. A lot of times, like I have to say that I believe that we're the most divided race. Honestly, I believe that we are the most divided. Like, you see, and I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, and I'm going to tell you, I believe that we're very, very divided. It doesn't even matter if we have to, I don't even want to compare us to anybody else, to any other race. I believe that we are heavily divided, and it was made by design. One of the things that I mentioned in one of my videos, and y'all can go and, we're going to recap all of them up until yesterday. But one of the things that I mentioned is, I want you guys to, for those who don't know about the Willie Lynch letter, which is actually it was a speech. It's called how to make a slave or something along. I forgot again. But how to make a slave, I believe is called. And basically what it was, a letter to slave owners, to, and white people, telling them, like, listen, this is how you keep a slave, even if they're not under your thumb. You know what I mean? It's he was pretty much saying about, in a nutshell, but I think it's worth reading, because it wasn't intended for us to be able to read it. That's why he wrote it, because they say, what has been said, if you want to hide things from Black people, put it in a book. And I think that is one of the most insulting things to ever be said. But I will say that it has been a truth at some point, because for a while, like, first of all, they didn't think that we could read. They're not, at least not their language, but we learned. And I enjoy reading. I really enjoy reading. So those who may not enjoy it, I would say, like, find something, because there's so many different types of books. There are so many different genres, just like there's several different genres of music. There's several, genres of literature. And I'm sure if you actually search and look for it there, you'll find something that you'll enjoy. All right. So I don't know, already take up almost 20 minutes already. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into a quick break real quick we're going to take a little quick break, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to go over some stuff. You heard? All right. See you soon.
This is the golden mic that everybody loves.
Let's go.
Sorry. I love cheese. I worship and adore you. Ready and I'm ready. Yeah. Come over here. I'm here. You. Everybody went out mic.
Calling all independent gospel and inspirational artists. Praise Fest, Jacksonville, Florida. I'm coming home.
This is going to be an evening of healing and praise.
Nephew, if they only knew our story.
Auntie, which is why Jacksonville does not want to miss this.
Join us Friday, February 23rd, 2024
at Greater Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, Callahan, Florida.
Meet us there.
Are you interested in continuing your education, certificate, or degree that will prepare you in the ministry and equip you in the marketplace? Come make Christ Central University your home. Visit us at www.myccu.online.
All right. And we are back, and we are back, and we are back. Okay. And we are back, and we are back, and we are back. I guess that's what I meant to do. Anyway. All right, let's get into it, y'all. So let's start with the first thing that, the first point of 29 ways to work the dream. And we're actually just going to make this the first 16 because we're doing one every day. The first thing that I was talking about was kind of building community. And what I mean by that is, for like that, it was building community, like doing things together, working together, and also understanding that not everybody is comfortable in community just yet. Because one thing that I found out that, like I said, when we get together and when we put our heads together and when we work together and when we're unified, there is so much that we can do, and we can do it in excellence. Unfortunately, not everybody is comfortable just yet. They have been made uncomfortable with being in crowds and being, and even not trusting. And that's okay. What we want to do is we want to meet people where they are. And maybe check with one person. You know what I mean? In the challenge, I usually like to try to give a challenge. So the challenge was for this one was to ask God, okay, give me a person who I haven't spoken to in a while, or I haven't seen in a while, or, that I haven't, that may need to be checked on, and just, check on them, ask them, how you doing? How's your day? How's everything going? And listen, not when I say listen, I mean, listen to understand and not listen to respond, because a lot of people can do that. A lot of us do that. We listen waiting to hurt, to say our part, but it's best to in order to help people. This is something that I'm learning myself. In order to assist with getting people a little bit more comfortable with community, it would be good to, because we don't need a whole, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. We don't need a whole group of people, especially in your business, but there's got to be at least one or two people that you can go to. And that's important. You know what I'm saying? It's important for us to have little, pods here and there of community, so that we're not together, we're not alone. Because the thing is, one of the things that the enemy does is he gets us isolated, and that can play with our minds. And the thing is, when you're so engulfed in something, that's how depression, that's how depression is. That's why when people are under the spell of depression or under the foot of depression, some of them like to be alone. And the thing is, once you get to that point, it's hard for you to come out if you're not, if somebody's not checking on you. And even if somebody is checking on you, some people don't, they want to say, oh yeah, I'm good, and have all of this stuff happening and all these things going on. So it's good to check on people, you know what I mean? Find somebody, pray, God, who do you want me to talk to? Who do you want me to reach out to? Who do you want me to who needs me today? And what can I do? What should I do to assist them? You know what I mean? So that's one. Helping, building community. The second one is to kind of like getting to know a bit and encouraging our youth. This is important. The reason why this is so important is because, number one, let's not forget that these are our future leaders. And these are the ones who are going to carry the torch when we're gone. Like, it's for us, it's us. For now, it's us. And because some of the older ones, baby boomers, and they're dying out. And I'm honestly, a lot of us are going too. Like, a lot of us are leaving here, so it's like you don't really hear much of the older ones, the older generation leaving. Then a lot of us are going. But at the end of the day, we're still here. So where the older generation was to be the one to pass the torch to us, it's imperative that we understand that we are, those of us who are what do they call us? So I guess we're called the millennials. I didn't realize that I was considered a millennial. I was born in the 80s, but apparently the millennials and the age ends in 1990, something along. And then there's Gen Z, and then there's okay. Or is it the other way around? I forgot. But whatever the case may be, those of us who are now in our 40s, 40s, mid to like 40s, early 50s, like, we are the ones that are actually supposed to be carrying the torch for the older ones, for the generation before us. And there's a lot. There's a lot of us that need some help in this area. And I honestly think that part of what that it's we haven't necessarily properly had the torch passed to us. I'll put it like that. I think that what we're doing is that we're working on more of trying to figure out how to do things in a more efficient way. Honestly, I think that's where we are. So while we're trying to figure that out, because honestly, there were things that were done in the generations before us that is just like, yeah, we're not doing that, and we're not going for that, and we are not accepting that. Like, that's another topic for another day. But what we are understanding, and now is, we're in the middle of, we're the last generation that, especially those that were born in the 80s, we're the last generation that saw so many different types of evolution happen. Like, we've gone from, we've been the ones that were introduced. We're the gap between the prior and, the technology age, because now we've learned it. We're not old enough to be like, no, I'm not messing with that. We've actually evolved and learned it. Like, we were learning it growing up, and are still, learning new technology and things, where the generation after us, they were already in it. They were already in the technology era. So that's all they know. You know what I mean? So, like, I was actually talking to my kids today, about this, different things about, like the phone, the telephone. And I was explaining to them how, there were different kinds of phones back. Like, everybody, my son who is 8 years old, he pretty much grew up with a remote and a cell phone in his hand. Like, that boy has been a techie since birth. So they think they forgot, or they don't know. I'm trying to think if they've ever seen. My daughter said that she's seen a rotary phone before, but we're the age group, our age group is the ones who have gone from corded phones to rotary phones up to cell phones, smartphones now. Like, we went through all of those different things, where the kids now, like the youth now, they're like, what is that? What is that thing? So it's good that we take some time. The point is, it was good for us to take some time to get to know, and to get to know what's going on in the minds of the youth, and to see what they're actually interested in, because they have a lot of insight, honestly. Like, they have a lot of insight and they have a lot of things that they're dealing with and they're going through. So, and that they don't really want to, like some don't even really want to acknowledge, some don't want anybody to, you know, they don't want people to know about. What I'm grateful for is that the generation now, like the kids now, the youth now are open to getting help. They're open to therapy. They're open to getting in touch with their, you know, with their emotions, and, you know, they're open to that, where it's something that we had to actually look into and like go out on a limb to do, because it was frowned upon while we were growing up. And then the generation behind us is like, I mean, I'm going to go to a shrink, you bugging. Nope. So that's why, like we want to be able to, one, instill things from the past into our youth and also learn from them. Like there was a song that India Arie, I think I mentioned it in the video as well. I forgot the name of it. I still don't know the name of the song, but it's pretty much they're saying if young people would talk to old people, it would make us a better people all around. And then she said if young people would talk to old people, it would make us a better people all around. So in other words, if we hear each other and listen to each other, we can learn from each other. She said, I can teach you the age-old, I can teach you the modern technology, and you can give me the old something, the age-old philosophy or something along those lines. So there's something that we can learn from each other, and that actually helps us to be able to know our history, and the youth to know their history and our history, and to move forward with it. That was a lot. All right. So number 3, number 3 is to buy intentionally, buy black and brown, buy black and brown. And the reason why this is important, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say this. I know that there are a lot of people that are like, well, why does our stuff have to be so expensive? I want to buy black, but I don't know who's what and this and the third. First of all, let me explain one thing. Just because, and I've learned this. Excuse me. Just because you see our faces on an advertisement does not mean that it's black owned. It does not mean that. So it's good to do the research and find out who is the current owner of the company, who is the founder and who's the owner. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of companies that started out black owned, but have ended up selling to others. And I have somebody in mind that I really want to get onto this show to talk to us about what she had to deal with. Shout out to Kiara Lachey and her husband. I'm so upset that I forgot his name, but they have a supplement company, a fitness and a supplement company called Just Move, and I left it at home. They have vegan, all natural, organic. They make them like proteins and supplements and things that actually taste delicious, and they're great for you. One of the things that she shared, and on top of that, it's not just that, she has vitamins as well. Like there's no fillers in this stuff. There's no nasty chemicals and things like that. And they are black owned and black family run. So it's her and her family that actually run the company. And there have been these big corporations that have been trying to buy them out for the sake of, and what they're going to do is they were going to water down their products. They were going to put all these fillers and things in them, and they refused. So they are kind of going through it a bit when it comes to production, because I don't want to say that they've been blackballed in a nutshell, but I think that's what is trying to happen. The big corporations are trying to and even like they had to get their own warehouse and create their own, like make their own stuff and do their own warehouse stuff and ship out their own stuff, because their stuff, their products and things were being held for a while because these corporations then got into their ear and be like, hold their stuff. And I want to get into, I really, really want to, if anybody, you know, like tag her, tag Kiara Lachey, because I honestly want to talk to her, because it's a thing where like our stuff, first of all, it takes more money, unfortunately, for us to be able to go into business and run a business. And I'm not telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I've seen for myself. I used to assist people with starting, you know, with getting their LLCs and, you know, trademarks and things. And the price difference, depending on your zip code, is absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. And I'm like, if this isn't obvious, what y'all doing? They make it more expensive in urban communities to own businesses. It's absolutely ridiculous. And where it may seem like that's not fair, it's not fair, but that's what they're doing. And that's how it works. So I have a higher tolerance now, and I will at any chance, and this has been my thing for a long time. At any chance that I get to find anybody who is Black owned, not just Black owned, but that have great quality, who has quality products and quality service, and you know, they do quality work, I will absolutely, if I'm able to, I'll go to them first. My goal has been, and it still is, for everything that I own, everything that I shop for, everywhere that I put my money towards, goes to a Black owned company or somebody I know, preferably both in the same category. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I'm sticking to, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not going to purchase from other people. I'm not even saying that I wouldn't hire other people, you know, other races. I'm not saying that. But what's so important for me is for us to understand that because things are not equal for us, that means that we have to come together and circulate our dollars in our own community. Forget who else does it, because I can sit here and mention who else does that, you know, all these other communities, all these other races, all these, you know what I'm saying? I can mention who all does that. It doesn't even matter, because the fact of the matter is that unfortunately, this is what we have. This is the solution for us. It's going to have to be the solution for us, because whenever we do things in excellence, because we are a powerful people, like I'm going to get into later on, you know, even that, but like when we do, and that's what I'm saying, when we work together and when we do things together and we decide to, as there's a song that PJ Morton, shout out to him, has called Buy Back the Block. Like when we work together and have things done together, there's absolutely nothing that we can't do. Unfortunately, some people don't like that, and they try to destroy everything that we try to do together. But guess what? We're going to keep rebuilding. We're going to keep rebuilding, and we're going to make it so that there's nothing that that nobody can touch us. Unfortunately, we would have liked for it, and I'm going to speak to everybody else. I'll just say it like this. It would have been amazing. It would have been wonderful. It would have been great for us to be treated equally, because that's all we've been ever asking for. That's all we've ever wanted. That's all that we have been fighting for us to be treated equally. We aren't trying to, you know, treat y'all, you know, we're not trying to say that we're superior. We haven't been trying to say that we're superior. We just want y'all to treat us the way that we deserve. We just want to be treated equally. And the problem is, no, I'm not even gonna say the problem. Y'all should be glad that all we want is equality and not revenge. I'm gonna leave that there, because if we wanted revenge, the thing is, we as a people, Black people, we have so much love. Like, y'all want to make us out to be, and I'm getting upset, and I'm trying not to, but just because of the things that I've seen and the things that I've, you know, that I, just the way that this America specifically, but the world in general, to be honest, because there's places that we're really like, we're not even welcome here. We were brought over here by y'all, and then y'all want to treat us like, okay, let me calm down, because I'm getting emotional and I'm getting heated. But the thing is, all we really asked for, all we've ever fought for, all we've really wanted was to be treated just like a human being, like everybody else. That's it. We want equality, not revenge. Because I guarantee you, if we wanted revenge, we could do exactly what y'all trying to do. We could do exactly what y'all trying to do with all of this gentrification and trying to push us out, man. All right, let me get into my next point. Let me get into my next point because I'm going there. So number 4 would be to kind of like check yourself. And what I mean by check yourself is like kind of do self-inventory and see what it is that that you might need, and to make sure that you're good, and that because you really can't help anybody else if you're not helping yourself. You feel me? You're really not able to function accurately and function well, and you're not going to be able to you're not really going to be able to help in community if your views are what's the word? Jaded. That's the word. If your views are jaded, or if your views are you view things and you view life based off of your own personal experiences that you have not dealt with. There's a lot of things that we need to really look at. There's a lot of things that a lot of ways that we need to, check ourselves and improve, because that's just what we need to do. It's always good to make sure that you're okay before you can, help anybody else. I know we can be very, very opposite with that. A lot of times we want to help other people before we can help ourselves, but we have to understand that we're important. We are more important. Like, one thing that I've learned is that if you are like, you can only have but so much capacity. Like, you can't give to anybody something. You cannot give from an empty cup. If you don't have the capacity to do what it is that you need to do, if you don't have the capacity, like if you're so full, if you have all of these things going on in your life that you're not able to deal with, you're not going to be able to be you're not going to be able to be, but it's easier. I'll put it like this. It's easier to be able to help people in work, in family and relationships, in parenting, whatever place that you serve in life. It's easier and it's better. You'll be able to come at it from a better, from a clear head and a clear heart and a clear mind, without having all of these things like bogging you down. It's just a lot easier for you to, if you're able to take care of you first. That way you can give the part of you that you have, the wholeness of you that you have, to those who need you. You know what I'm saying? The number 5, day 5, we talked about retraining our brains and like working on our memories, and not always depending so much on these like smart devices and things to because that's what they're here for. They're made, like, these smartphones and everything. Like, think about it. This is what I'm talking about as far as like our generations. Think about, remember when like we had to memorize directions, when we had to memorize phone numbers. You know what I mean? Remember when we had to we had to really work our brains. Like, even in school is even different now, to be honest. Like, one of the things that I'm finding out is like there are kids who are being pushed and passed on to these different grades and can't read. All they do is smart words. I mean, not smart words. What is the word? what is the word? Not smart words. Sight words. All they do is sight words. They're not, phonics is a thing of the past now. Like these kids are not learning about digraphs and how to sound out these, how to sound out words. They're not learning that anymore. They're just saying, this is how you memorize the word. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was a kid, we did phonics and, all of those things, but they're not doing that anymore. And that's why these kids are in high school. How in the world are you in high school and reading in the 3rd grade? You know what I'm saying? So because of that, what we have to do is we have to retrain our brains. Like even with these spell checks, with these autocorrects, what I like to do, like I know how, like when you're typing up emails or you're typing up something, how you like it wants to finish the word for you and all you have to do is press a key in order for it to finish. I like to continue typing it out because it reminds me of how to spell it. And what we need is to make sure that our brains are working. What we need is to make sure that our memories are working. What we need is to be sure that we remember the things that we need to remember. I compare this to the movie, The Book of Eli that Denzel Washington was in. I love that movie. And what I remembered about it is because he had excuse me, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's a very good movie. But in a nutshell, what I learned from that movie is keep your memory sharp. Keep your memory sharp because there's going to become a day when all technology is not going to work anymore. Everything digital is going to crash. And all you're going to be able to do is A, what you're told to do, or B, what you remember. And that's where we're headed. I believe that we're headed in an age where all of these digital devices and everything are going to crash. So we're not going to remember how to get anywhere because we use our GPSs for everything. We're not going to know who to call because all of our phone numbers and everything are stored in our phone and we don't remember anybody's number anymore. Like all of these different, we don't know how to, like, we can't buy anything because we can't remember our card numbers or any of that. That's the whole purpose of these. I mean, yes, they're good. They have great, they're a convenience. Absolutely. However, don't use it as a crutch. Still keep your brain sharp. Still do some reading. Still, don't necessarily always, if you take the same route to work all the time, don't put your GPS on. Just go or leave a little earlier and try to remember. You know what I mean? Like try and search out different areas. You know what I'm saying? Like do things to kind of work on your memory. Try to remember phone numbers again. You know what I'm saying? Try to remember landmarks and different things. Do, like I said, like retrain your brain. Do brain exercises. There are and play like I remember like when we were younger, my grandmother used to do crossword puzzles and what are those things? Like word searches and things like that. Do those types of things that to help, exercise your brain. I like to use, there's an app called, is it Elevate? I believe it's called Elevate. Yeah, there's an app called Elevate that you can use for free that trains your brain. And also, there's a lady, shout out to Auntie Bev, Beverly Malone. That's what I spoke about on the thing. Shout out to her. Like she's the one that, she's a lady who, who is on Instagram that gives you kind of a word of the day that we can use to build a vocabulary. So there are ways and there are things out there, you know what I mean? Like YouTube something, you go to YouTube and learn something, just learn something new. You know what I mean? All right, I'm going to take another break real quick and then we're going to wrap this up. We're not going to be able to finish all of this. But what I am going to say is after we're done here, head over to Instagram. Like I said, head over to my Instagram and look through all of that, all of the different episodes that they're not episodes, but all of the different videos that we've done so far. All right. So we shall be back.
For the last 40 years,
times I've been telling you I will survive, but I never told you how.
It was a fun time. I Will Survive topped the charts at #1. My fan base growing like wildfire. People were beginning to recognize me on the street, but that girl was lonely.
Her husband was her manager. He called all the shots.
I was so afraid of abandonment. I allowed myself to be controlled. Hang on, baby. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Parties. Smoking marijuana.
Gloria Gaynor.
Doing cocaine. I felt a fist grab me in my chest and said, "That's enough." And I'm going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I realized that's what that was. That was God. 65 years old, divorced. Who am I now? I really want to inspire people with the faith that has brought me through all of the difficult times. I needed to find a manager that's willing to champion an artist that has never done gospel music before.
Things that she's been through.
I woke up paralyzed from the waist down.
I just knew they would become an instrumental part of this recording.
I had really, really deep scars from abuse. You grow up feeling unloved.
There was a time when I was broken.
Gloria Gaynor is kind of the poster child of people just getting through. To point to what is her source of strength was just a cool idea.
At first I was afraid. I would... Don't do that.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can dream it, you can accomplish it. To be honored like this, it inspires me to keep going with this project.
So how old were you when you finally started college?
65. Age is just a number. All of those struggles make us stronger and help us to get to where we want to be, help us to do what we want to do, help us to create what we want to create, and survive and thrive.
All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up with one more point. Something that is a bit more relevant, not necessarily relevant, I'm sorry, a bit more recent. So let's talk about how we as a people like to compare and pin each other against, you know what I mean? Pin one another against each other with who, you know, with all these things like, I'm gonna just come flat out with it. So I'm not sure if everybody has seen, I'm sure you've heard it. There is a thing going on now. There's an argument, or I don't know if I can call it an argument, but a debate, I guess, an argument debate going on about Beyonce and Usher dropping music around the same time. I'm trying to think. Usher dropped his new album a few days before he did the Super Bowl halftime show, which was an amazing performance, by the way. And Beyonce dropping her country music. I want to say the day after, the day after the halftime show. And people are like, oh, they shouldn't have done it around the same time because it's going to pin one against the other and blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Plain and simple, shut up. Because at the end of the day, number one, as big as these artists are, as much work as they have been in the industry themselves, don't you think that they kind of communicate? And even if they didn't, so what? Who's to say, why is it that we have to wait for one person? You know what I'm saying? For one person to, like, why do you feel like we have to wait? They both have projects out. They both have new projects out. Like, we only listen to one song a day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they support each other. So why can't we do that? Why do we have to make it seem like one person has to wait a certain amount of time before the other one drops? Oh, you shouldn't do this around this time because this person, who cares? There's enough space and there's enough room and there's enough bread for all of us to eat. And that's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. Like, it doesn't make any sense how we feel like why is this a debate? And then we're not even going to get into that. But let's stop pinning one against the other. Please, please, please stop doing that. Let's understand that, again, like, we are so much better when we're working together. Who is to say that they don't, they didn't even, what I'm saying, that they didn't encourage each other? Like, yeah, that they're probably listening to the other one's albums. I'm sure they are. So why is it a problem? I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why they feel like it's an issue. Like, why can't our brain capacity go beyond that? It can only be one, major artist at a time. I really don't understand I don't understand it. Like, we can't be everywhere at the same time. Like, we can't do multiple things at the same time. Stop limiting ourselves. Like, we really need to stop limiting ourselves and realize it's all right. We can do, this one can have this album on this day. This one can have this album on this day. This one, and we can all support each other. Not everybody is going to enjoy Usher's album. Not everybody is going to enjoy Beyonce's music. Even the country stuff. And there's nobody who's to say that we can't do both. Does that not cross people's minds? I'm sorry, I'm spitting. Does that not cross people's minds? It's okay. I promise you it is. I promise you it is. And I'm going to leave with this. I want us to really, really understand how powerful of a people that we are. How excellent we are. I want us to really, really get a hold of that. I really want us to understand that, because sometimes we forget, and sometimes we're made to forget. It doesn't matter who tries to tear us down. It doesn't matter who tries to break us down. It's up to us to change the narrative. And we're capable. We're more than capable of doing that. And we can do it with dignity. We don't have to necessarily be irate. We don't have to be hostile. If it gets to that point where it has to be that way, then boom, that's what it is. But we don't have to do things the way that they expect us to do it. We really don't. We are classy people. We really are. We are a classy people. We are royalty. And what I want y'all to understand is get to know you. Get to know the God that created you. Let's start with that. Get to know the God that created you and ask him to help you see who you are. See you for who you are. Plain and simple. Because at the end of the day, we are beautiful in more ways than one. We're absolutely an amazing group of people. Our heritage is so deep and so rich. And once we actually really take a look into who we are and what it is that we are capable of, and recognize what we're capable of, because again, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to appreciate, those who came before us by living well and doing what we've been put here to do. You know what I mean? I have a few others that I wanted to go through, but we ain't got time. So like I said, what y'all can do is y'all can go on my Instagram page, DOYH_marketing, and check them out and leave a comment or whatever you want to do. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Speaking Plain English. Until next time.